Yeah, we are indeed. So let's get started with NA preliminary finals. Daniel against CRR. Only one of them can make the grand final. And will it be the only non-American left in the tournament? CRR is trying to play spoiler here on this side of the Atlantic. Daniel, the underdog, coming in at least based on where they came from in the bracket. But I don't know if he's the underdog on paper. It's very hard to say. My prediction is going to be Daniel wins, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there as we kick off. Did you get a prediction, Fear?
No, but I was looking at their records as we got the lobby started. CRR and Daniel, just specifically their records. Daniel gets a nice air dribble. CRR stops it, but that's going to be a goal. Great recovery. But just to get my prediction out really quick, it looks like Daniel's actually been playing pretty well. Daniel, his very first loss in pool play was to AJ. He actually got swept, and then he didn't lose a game in pool play since then.
Yeah.
And then he lost to First Killer. And losing to First Killer is not, that doesn't give me any warning signs. So I'm not too worried about that. And then he was able to get past Cosmic. So I think Daniel might be playing well. CRR actually had 2 losses in pool play. And then I think he had the easier semifinal matchup in EVO than Daniel, who had to play First Killer. So I do think that Daniel probably has the edge. So I am backing Daniel to win this one.
That's even, you could say, a more bold prediction than me, because he is losing 1-0, not by much, of course. But Daniel looking for a return to farm here. He's missed an open net. That's not a return to farm. CRR was bumped miles out of position, but Daniel missed it. Probably was quite awkward to get that one on target on the turn, but it was wide open nonetheless. That should have been a tie game.
Daniel going to try and bump. And he never felt like he could power slide or turn around to make a play on the ball because he just kind of froze after his bump, which did connect. Daniel going to the backboard. He was trying to set up a redirect across the whole field. He didn't connect, and now it'll be CRR on a dribble flipping underneath the ball. I think he was trying to get an additional pop that did not come. So now it's Daniel with possession in space. He never really got the dribble started. It took him a bit long to get it going. And CRR cuts it off. He's going to the ceiling, gets the reset. It's a very impressive setup to the shot, but ultimately the finish fairly weak. And Daniel locked that one in. He took as much time off as he could.
I love the creativity from CRR here. These are some very, very tough shots to pull off, though. So he's going to need to be careful if he keeps on playing shots of that difficulty. But yeah, CRR, I think, recently especially, has been incredibly underrated with his 1v1. He had that top 4 finish, of course, in Shotcast Duels very recently, just before Gamers 8. That, for me, was the best version of CRR that I'd ever seen. So that being so close to the current day, has me thinking that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Daniel's own goal. But what is happening here? We're only 1 game in, we're only 2 minutes in, and already NA is showing levels.
That's a legendary own goal. That's legendary. I don't even want to try and understand. Let's just assume that Daniel figured CRR needed another goal.
Yeah, look at actually, as we get into this one, Daniel is crushing the channel points prediction. The beans are being thrown in Daniel's favor here, so clearly the wider Rock League audience thinks Daniel is a massive favorite for this one. I think Daniel's the favorite, but I do think it's going to be a close one. I think on paper it's something like 55% based on recent form in Daniel's favor, not the 80% or so, at least 75 that Twitch chat are saying. He does tie the game. That's huge. Another open net for Daniel. This song does go in, so well played after the bump. Yeah, CRR, he has been in great form. He is definitely a threat for Daniel today. Daniel's going to need to be on form. So far, he's a little bit shaky. Luckily, he's got some big plays to back up the misplays. That is a monster of a flick right over CRR.
Yeah, I was sitting here about to, scold Daniel for taking this long distance flick when CRR is ready. I guess CRR was caught in reverse a little bit, who was thinking about challenging and reversing and setting up for the shadow. But I did not expect Daniel to get the kind of power and arc to get around CRR. But that's why he's on the field. He knows what he's doing. But the kickoff loss will tie it right back up. So I think the replay might show us what these guys both went for. I think it's just a double standard, but we can get into the kickoff battle later when somebody clearly needs to adjust. For now, these guys still fairly equal.
Yeah, that one did not look like an undefendable shot at all. I think, Daniel was trying to fake out CRR. He just drove in front of the ball thinking CRR is not going to hit this into me. Surely he's going to read me flipping. Nope, CRR just ignores Daniel and shoots it straight into the open goal. Daniel faking a double reset there instead of reversing back into position. That's going to concede possession. The CRR can't get it back under control in time. Now this is a scary position for Daniel. Early reset secured. He's got a lot of goal to aim at here, and he does put it in. 4-3. You're not going to want to give Daniel these kind of opportunities. He's one of the most consistent players in the world. When he's got an early reset, just keep in control the entire time. Early challenge, you're getting outplayed. You wait on your goal line, you're still getting outplayed.
That's the North American special. A lot of the top players in North America, all incredibly effective on the wall to air dribble win off the kickoff. You know, it's clearly a place that the top players were good at, and I think a lot of maybe the, players looking to take the throne from Daniel, because as you said, Daniel's one of the best at it, all got very good at it as well. Chronic's also insanely good at it. So you'll see a lot of those in North America. I think a little bit more than you see in EU, as Daniel checks to make sure that CRR is going to leave before he starts his dribble. And it's a flick right into the top shelf.
And look where he started here. He fakes the cross-map air dribble off his backboard. Air dribbles from the ground bounce instead, and after the lean back reset, rips the flick right over CRR. That's 2 times now that he's just shot the ball straight over CRR's head with no chance for CRR to react to what's coming at him. CRR is going to need to close the distance. He's going to need to challenge early if he's going to have any chance of saving these shots. That is a great save by CRR. No ball cam on that one, but Daniel on the rebound, too good.
Yeah, CRR actually, he hit the brakes on this recovery. I think he might have had a good chance if he had just held, all the way and just double jumped up and, assumed that Daniel was going to go for that shot. Maybe he's worried about double jumping off into no man's land if Daniel ends up faking it. But, Daniel's the kind of guy who definitely can get that shot. I think CRR just needs to be a bit more confident on that recovery. He's in a tough spot either way. So I guess just trying to go the little bit safer route, but you're going to have to take a little bit of risk against Daniel, or you're going to see that ball going through your net quite a bit.
Looks like Daniel misplayed that touch, concedes possession, backs off. CRR actually plays right into Daniel's hands there, who had retreated back to goal. And that's a heavy hit that CRR is going to need to respect. Daniel, known for his effective long shooting to keep his opponents at bay, flips away again, just giving CRR the approach, but closes the gap before CRR pulls the trigger. Daniel is giving CRR a lot of chances here. CRR takes this one. We're back to a 2-goal difference.
Daniel gets got by the power slide cut. CRR, he didn't take it nearly as infield as Daniel was hoping for. You see him creeping out. A lot of players will take that touch towards the midfield a little bit more wide. CRR cut all the way around and cut it behind him, and Daniel, as soon as that happened, was on the wrong side of the play. Certainly,
he missed it.
He would not like. Did CRR miss the back? Oh, he did. I see it. Daniel gets to just walk it in.
I don't know if it would have mattered. Daniel's first touch here was perfect. He did a great job to turn that one around quickly, and even if CRR did grab the boost, it would have been tough to catch up to Daniel with that kind of advantage. Really well done by Daniel to slow down the ball and knock a couple seconds off the clock. CRR with the flick. It's a double tap pass, center ball by Daniel. Absolutely masterful team play in 1v1.
Daniel's playing so well for both teams. This one is a little bit more forgivable, but I do think Daniel's probably beating himself up. He should be able to get around that and keep it off the post, but instead, it's not the own goal, but it's a direct pass to CRR. Luckily for him, with 33 seconds, he does still have his 2-goal lead. He's going to try and tap this and still control it. He does prevent CRR from getting 100. CRR's fake leads to Daniel's car, and the demo. That probably secures the game. Daniel going to play it as slow as he can. And a 3-goal lead with 18 seconds.
Yeah, CRR does go next here. He missed the back corner boost again, so Daniel had the easy goal on the transition. It's a 3-goal difference. CRR does not go for the impossible comeback that we have already seen, of course, this event from Moxie. That's a really good sign for Daniel. He didn't peak that game at all. He could play a whole lot better than that, but he still got the job done. Let's take a look at the next rank post-game stats here. Daniel dominating the possession. Now, if you do want to sign up for the next rank, use the !TNR command in Twitch chat or scroll down to the YouTube description. thenextrank.com is a Rocket League course coming soon, brought to you by myself and apparently Jack.
51. I mean, the field control was fairly equal, but what are the balls on the orange and blue half? It was Daniel who was dictating the play.
Yeah.
And he was able to convert that for a win. I mean, CRR towards the end maybe threatened a little bit, but it was really just... I mean, CRR also scored first, but quickly Daniel got control and never gave it back.
Yeah, it was, you know, a kind of game where Daniel's happy to back off and give away some of that midfield, but he had control of the ball a lot of the time that he was doing that. And yeah, great flick game for Daniel. He had one from the ground, one from midair, as we see in the Shotcast post-game highlights here. I just realized I was saying that. I don't think we've ever had Daniel in Shotcast. He'd be a cool guest. We have had CRR before. He's also a really cool guest. I learned a lot about CRR. You can check out that episode on YouTube, Spotify, etc. We'd love to catch up with him again. He's such an interesting player. One of the only players who has made that move across the Atlantic by himself. Not the team move like we saw from apparently Jack and Nolly last season, or the full team move like we saw from Furia. CRR just went over there alone and you know, tried to follow in the footsteps of Turbopulsar, who did it years ago to success.
Yeah, and I'd say he's had some success on Complexity. It's been a solid North American team. But right now, can he find success against another North American? Maybe he's be able to beat Daniel and his team in threes, but it's a bit of a tougher task to do it in ones. So we'll see. 1-0 lead for Daniel, who's free-flipping around this play. He's kind of threatening that flick again, but I don't think he was close enough to make it. He'll retreat now and dare CRR to beat him. His first shot doesn't do it, but pinned back, 40 boosts to work with. Daniel, he is aiming at that near post. It's going to be harder to make a play backwards, and CRR knows it, so he snipes the opposite side.
Yeah, Daniel's still preferring to give CRR the shots and just react to them. He's, I think, overall had the winning matchup there. Daniel's defense against CRR's unchallenged offense. He's had enough to keep CRR at bay. It's really up to CRR to show Daniel shots that aren't savable if he wants Daniel to start challenging and start fighting for that midfield more. Right now, Daniel's quite happy to just wait for CRR to make moves and then respond to them. Good patience there by CRR to let the ball come to him, and that gives him the back corner boost at a better angle. Nice outplay by CRR. Daniel's, of course, back in the blink of an eye. CRR prefers to play exactly as he is. Daniel's giving him what he wants, really, but that's not what you want to see if you're CRR defense. Daniel nearly taking the lead in style once again.
Yeah, I think CRR, Daniel likes to back off. He's probably going to be forced to here. Actually turns and dives after grabbing the midfield. CRR attempting to undercut him. I think it's going to give possession away to Daniel, who tries to just snipe a long shot. CRR makes it back. Now the boost respawns just in time for Daniel, who has had a little bit more success attacking an awaiting defender, but this time it's right into CRR. And CRR, I think he could get away with making these plays not as quick. When he gets these dribbles, he kind of played into exactly what I wanted to talk about, which is he grabs the ball and immediately flicks when Daniel is shadowed and not necessarily pressuring him. You know, unless he thinks he can get a ton of power to launch it over him, I think he could do well to make those plays closer to the net, force Daniel to maybe lose a couple 50s into the net and change his strategy. But for now, he's playing into it. He's taking these weak flicks that Daniel can easily handle.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both players are kind of playing into each other's strong aspects of their game. Daniel being allowed to attack in the air. Daniel showing off his counter-attacking defense, but CRR is also being able to close the gap consistently. Daniel's just letting him into the play, and so far it seems like Daniel's just more mechanical on the day. CRR's flicks have not been good enough. Now here comes an aerial play with not a lot of boost left. In fact, he's just got 7 boosts left at the end of all that and no momentum. CRR trying to turn and catch Daniel, prioritizing boost over ball. Doesn't work. And now Daniel with a double tap drains it, top bins. That was incredible power by Daniel.
So much confidence too. You don't see a lot of these backboard doubles in ones because you just, if the ball gets stolen at any moment during the back wall touch, it is getting taken away and it's a guaranteed goal. And so CRR got demoed, and it's still risky. It's still risky for Daniel because he has to slot it top left. Otherwise, it's going to be a powerful save. Daniel's floating in the air after using his boost. It's not something that people go too often unless you feel really confident, unless you're sure it's a layup for yourself. And that double for Daniel, even at that power, is apparently an easy play for him. CRR, that is a magnificent setup for the shot. But ultimately, the ball does go right near the defender. You know, despite the surprising angle potentially, it does just shoot right at Daniel, and he's able to counterattack it.
Yeah, great defense by Daniel again. He'll score a 4th goal. He has been stopping the majority of CRR's attacks, and then when you look at what's happening, whenever Daniel gets the ball, CRR seems to have a lot more trouble reading what Daniel's up to. It's a stall Daniel right now, as we get another one-sided game, it would seem. And this is very committed by Daniel. Oh, what a touch he got on the end of that one. CRR's reacted well to it. That was definitely impressive attack by Daniel. And again, the flick is just not quite there. I would love to see CRR bounce dribbling in this matchup. His flick has been the main source of his ground game so far, but it hasn't been powerful enough. And I think, you know, bounce dribbling, angle dribbling would probably give him more options. Daniel's, again, successfully defended him. And now gets going the other direction. It's well saved by CRR, but his boost is gone, possession is gone. Daniel will go again.
Yeah, CRR not attacking the play, instead deciding to go pick up pads here in this moment. And it seems to be the right decision. Daniel didn't rush it, and now he's got a boost steal in the corner. Daniel is going to shadow CRR, and air dribble bump's not a bad way to go instead of those flicks.
Okay.
Just something different, and it works out.
That's a great switch up by CRR. The setup looked similar to a flick, so Daniel, not really worried about CRR's flicks, backs off, and then he finds out, okay, it's not a flick, it's actually a pop bump, and it's not going to be an easy one to save. 2-goal game. CRR, despite being pretty controlled by Daniel for most of this game, has got a great chance to come back here. Daniel's passiveness has given CRR an opportunity. It's an air dribble dunk this time, but Daniel does well to get behind it.
60 boost still for Daniel. He didn't even have to use too much for that save, and it's going to be essential. Only 20 more used in order to make that one. CRR, bit of an awkward setup. Can he make something out of it?
No
it seems
way.
like he will with a ground 50, but he
Oh.
didn't backflip for. He didn't have a flip to try and give it some power. Now it's Daniel the other way. This is the most dangerous position to have Daniel in. He's got his reset, and
What?
he goes low. CRR hit it into him. I think Daniel was just trying to be passive. He realized he had lost control, and it just works out as CRR hands it right back.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel went to dunk on that one. He's just turning away to play a safe follow-up, and CRR hits it right into him. And Daniel's obviously got the potential to score there if the mind game works, but CRR sniping him works out just as well. Now here comes CRR. Got to read this one. He does, but not fast enough. Daniel's too quick, and looks like he's going to be up 2-0. CRR has to come up with a better ground game. He's being given opportunities, but he's not putting enough of them in. I like the air dribble bump at the end of the game, but I still want to see more adaptability from him. I want to see more variety from him. Too many flicks, too many saves that just aren't working today. You know, CRR can flick the ball a lot faster than this. This has not been his best day at the office when it does come to flicks, but you have to adapt. When part of your game isn't working, you can't. There's no point continuing to do it, bashing your head into the wall repeatedly. That wall being Daniel's brick wall that he's built on his goal line.
Yeah, I think to take a note from one of the best ground guys in the game, maybe the best ones player in the game right now, Moxie, he plays those dribbles much slower, much calmer when he collects it. You could tell that he's done it a million times and he feels good about it. CRR feels rushed. CRR feels like he wants the play to happen as soon as possible, and that's what's getting him into these flicks. Daniel's backing off. You're in no rush. You know, you can really take your time to set up. Like low 50s as well is another good option. If Daniel refuses to make a play on the ball, just bring it to his net and try and muscle it through. Something other than the flick, because, yeah, it's not working.
Yeah, it's not working enough. Producer Ben, did you say we have the blimp today? I don't even know what's on it, but I know you guys in chat, you love the blimp. But yeah, we're going to need to bring it in at some point and see what the blimp has for us. We'll see about what the blimp brings us. I'm excited, to be honest. I'm not even sure what the blimp is going to bring us today, but we have not had the blimp in playoffs, so it's about time we bring it back. Meanwhile, CRR versus Daniel. Game 3. CRR has not had enough firepower in offense to really cause Daniel problems today, at least not consistently enough. Daniel is playing the game he wants to play, and he's quite happy to let CRR play his game when it's not working against him.
CRR into the Fennec. A car change for him. We'll see if that's the answer. I think the Fennec has had more recent one success from its players. Daniel, we're talking about CRR taking his time. You know, I said he rushed all of his takes. Well, now this one he maybe should have rushed. He takes it a little bit slower, and Daniel turns and just takes it right off the top of his car.
I love that switch up by Daniel. Last game, he pretty much consistently backed off anytime CRR had the ball. Now at the start of game 3, he charges in and challenges. CRR continues to struggle in the matchup. Here's a chance for him to swing the momentum slightly more in his favor. It's a good shot. It's a great shot. And it's past Daniel. Despite the save being close, CRR pulls the ceiling shot out of the bag.
Daniel's been daring CRR all series long, saying, I dare you to beat me. I dare you to beat me. I think I can cover it. And he has. And being not forced to change game plan at all is a huge part of this. CRR able to get one through, maybe make Daniel think twice about continuing to just test CRR.
Yeah, he's lost control there. That's not the play CRR is trying to make, of course. He had everything that he needed here, but he just jumped onto the back wall at a much more difficult angle than he needed to. He didn't even need to jump at all there, but I mean, obviously a massive mistake there by CRR to land on his roof, on the back wall, when he's trying to land on his wheels. I mean, that's a very amateur mistake for a player of his level.
Daniel attacking this near post. CRR is going to be able to cover that using the back wall. No boost for Daniel, so he's going to take a trip into the back corner. One of the deadliest in attack from this height. He flips into the ball to get the reset. The flick is right at CRR, but CRR could not get a strong save. It doesn't matter. It's still going to go in his favor. The better recovery, and he can equalize.
Well, the low shot from Daniel nearly surprised CRR, who was pre-jumping, but credit to him. He didn't pre-jump too high, and he shrugged off Daniel's bump as well for slotting in the equalizer across the other side of the pitch. So it's some signs of light for CRR in this matchup. Daniel has not been perfect today. That's the best news that he's got. Another reset for Daniel. This time the pre-jump from CRR is too high. As Daniel slots it under him with the wave dash shot.
Yep. Daniel's been doing a great job of mixing up, but specifically a ton of power on this one with the dash. Any slower, and CRR is able to make that correction. So as CRR seems to get a little bit of momentum underneath him, it's quickly erased by a Daniel goal. Daniel with no boost here, trying to decide whether he needs to make a play on the ball or retreat. He's going to get one touch before doing so. CRR going to slot top right as Daniel goes into that back corner. He has to come back with speed, and when you're moving with speed, you're likely to overcommit when trying to defend that near post, and that's exactly where CRR put it.
Yeah, not the best stalling touch there from Daniel, as he gives CRR exactly what he's been lacking, and that's an angle to work with when he's dribbling in attack. Now Daniel, free-flipping into position, does not own goal. Instead, he takes control of the situation. That is an incredible result for Daniel. Looked like he might be about to concede, or even concede possession. Still might, as CRR demos him in the aftermath. First touch is good. CRR not able to get the shot off, but anywhere near enough power, though, as Daniel easily saves it.
Daniel to the skies on the counterattack. CRR swinging in from the corner. It's a different version of what we just saw. He sees CRR, who doesn't have enough boost to make the defensive play, or at least didn't feel like he did. He actually had about 40 from the pads, but wanted to go all the way for the 100. And, CRR saying, basically testing Daniel, saying if you can hit opposite post, then you'll score, but anything else, that I'll swing through for a strong save. But Daniel passed the test, and now he's right back in his favorite position. This time he's going for multiple resets. He's already hit a quad reset this tournament, but this time it'll be a double, and he'll use it to dash the ball right in the top corner.
Yeah, just full shadow defense from CRR, who does give Daniel a nice shot in the quick chat for that one. It's all about placement. Daniel just sticking it right over CRR's head from close range, double reset, and a soft, accurate floor pinch. Very difficult to read as Daniel again takes the ball directly off the kickoff. This time, it's just a grind shot, but it's more than enough against an out-of-position CRR.
Yeah, it's these strong shots that punish players. And the thing is, it's the first touch. The first touch is a huge part of it, too. A strong follow-up. But that corner can kind of eat the ball sometimes, really slow down an attack. CRR maybe expecting to be given a little bit more time because of that, but Daniel gets the perfect first touch, and then it makes CRR look ridiculous because he's nowhere close. It's another kickoff one for Daniel, and I do think while we've been focusing on a little bit less, Daniel certainly has the edge in possessions one, and he pulls CRR up onto the back wall with this flick. CRR can't make contact, and now he's wildly out of position, so it's an easy tap in.
Oh, it's just a beautiful flick from Daniel, getting so much height on it. CRR underestimated it, thought he could catch it and take control, but it was just way too high. Daniel continues to score at will in Game 3, continues to dominate this series. This is far more one-sided than I expected. CRR has struggled to really get anything going. It's a creative setup again from CRR, but like most of his creative setups, they're just not quite there. The final element is missing once again. So he hits the bar, and Daniel, too quick on the recovery there. Nice counter-attack for his 8th goal.
You can be really boring. You can be boring with the setup. We have one of the guys in the field who has shown just how boring you can be while winning. But it is, yeah, our first half-flip kickoff. And look, it worked.
Well, I hope that I hope Zen and Naupo and TRK are paying attention, because that's something we didn't see them try at all against Moxie, who was crushing every single one of them in the kickoffs. Well done, CRR. Good adaptation, but you know, did he perhaps waste that one? He's already losing by 5. I mean, he's showing that he wants to come back here, but when you're losing by 5, maybe it's better to just save that for next game. Obviously, next game would be a reverse sweep required, and it will be a reverse sweep required as CRR forfeits down 6. He can't really blame him, given how one-sided this passage of play has been, right from a pretty close game into Daniel one-way traffic. But CRR will need a reverse sweep, and he's going to need to probably rely on some Daniel misplays, as well as a big step up in level from him. He has not been able to produce the same quality of play that he had earlier on in the competition.
Yeah, it's going to be about those mechanical plays that he's making. They need to happen closer to the net. Like all the magnificence is happening so far out of the box, and then the final shot is something that is playing into Daniel's super passive hands. And then, you know, the kickoff mix-up is something that we've seen do a little bit, but everyone's only ever doing it after they're super far down.
Yeah.
You know, maybe just start the game off with something that gets Daniel on his back foot or gets him thinking. You know, in a world of, I think the reason why we talk about it so much is it's the easiest thing to just change.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't take a lot to just decide to do a different kickoff, whereas it's a lot to ask to say, hey, can you start sniping your flicks top left? Like, you can't just change that, but you can very easily do that with the kickoffs. Yeah,
it's a strategical change compared to a mechanical, and I think we can bring in the blimp, if I'm not mistaken, which we just have just about enough time for before the start of the next game. So let's go ahead and bring in the blimp, see what the blimp has for us today. It's been a while. We've not had the blimp all week, actually. We had it for the group stage, but yeah, now we get the blimp back with some results to show what these guys have been up to. Now, this is the coming later screen, pretty much. First Color versus Wavy, which is you know, the semi-final, or rather the preliminary final that everybody thought could be a 4-0. Oh, what a shot by Daniel. Doesn't even give me any time to talk about what's coming next. He gets a beauty right from the kickoff. Just 12 boosts to his name, and it's a pre-flip flick right over CRR.
Yeah, air rolling and prepping for that shot to scoop the ball. And when you're in a desperate need for finding a way to get power on those low boost setups off the kickoff, you got to find creative ways to use the flip. And Daniel's never lacked creativity on offense. CRR is going to go flying past the play, but it'll work out because he gets the demo. I'm not sure that was the initial plan, but it might be good enough. No, he couldn't force it in. He tried to rush it. He probably had a couple more moments, but he saw Daniel's respawn and got worried, and he's not able to get his goal.
I like the idea by CRR. Definitely caught Daniel by surprise, and that's a better flick, but Daniel still saves it. Well, in the flick game, it's just not working out for CRR today. That one was an absolute ripper to the top shelf, but Daniel still deflected it into the post and recovered. It just seems like Daniel is getting better and better with every passing minute. Downward read. Oh, it's an own goal by CRR. You can't get anything to go his way. Of course, you have to respect this read by Daniel, but CRR didn't need to do anything. It was off target.
Oh. It's just, fortune is in favor of Daniel right now. You know, and when you need a comeback, you need all of these little bounces to all of a sudden start going your way, and that just hasn't been the case.
There's no way. What? Oh no, CRR is just getting so unfortunate. How on earth has that gone in? He pre-flips it at Daniel. Daniel gets a clean beat past him. Still very well played by Daniel to read that touch, but I don't know how on earth that's bounced it off top corner. 3-0 as CRR now fakes the kickoff. Nicely done to switch things up on Daniel here. This time at a relevant part of the game. And it will lead to a good checking chance, but Daniel, again, too good in defense.
Yeah, a little bit of lack in the finish. I think CRR could have gotten a bit of extra power. I'm sure if you asked him, that didn't come out as strong as he would have liked, and that's what it needs to be. It needs to be, perfect power when you're going against players of this caliber. What a fake. Daniel! He's got a 4-0 lead in the game. He's trying to look for a 4-0 lead in this series.
Oh, that's disgusting. Daniel's already hit him with a couple of floor pinch chip shots, so CRR lunges in to try and block this one. That never came. It's a huge mind game by Daniel. 4-0. And, if I was to make an early prediction here, I'd say we're on a fast track to another forfeit rather than a reverse sweep. CRR has just not been able to get anything going here. It seems like all these small touch and go situations are going against him in this game, just to add to his problems that are already plentiful. Just can't get his flick to work out to sufficient level. Can't get his aerial game to work out to sufficient level. Cannot contain Daniel. Can he get something going here? CRR into the air with the irritable bump, and he does get that to work. So, okay, back to basics. CRR on the board.
Gotta go back to old reliable. You're struggling on offense, go to the timeless 1v1 play. I think that's a good idea, but when it's your only offense, it's going to be hard to win a full game. But it's just about building confidence now for CRR, because that is what has been lacking, I think, just because he hasn't mechanically been there, and he doesn't know what the answer is on how to get around it without, just fixing the mechanics. It's hard to do in the moment, but he's going to try and make a mechanical play right now to the ceiling. Daniel's had it all covered.
And CRR gets bumped off the boost as well. He's going to feel pretty hard done by that one. Daniel might have overhit the open net opportunity. Only get a second chance at it. Still has so much time. Daniel just baiting CRR off the goal line here. It'll be another mind game. Oh, it's even better. He baits the challenge and flicks it over him. Daniel is reading CRR like a book right now. He is just the puppet master in game 4.
Yeah, that play was everything that this series has been. Daniel just waiting for CRR. He's so confident, knows he's in full control. He can do whatever he wants, makes CRR challenge. CRR goes flying by. That's got to be a frustrating play to play against. CRR does go low this time. I was actually thinking about how he's been, trying to snipe some high. Maybe a fake might work, but no, Daniel defensively has had everything covered. Definitely need to make sure we're giving him... what's going on?
One shot by Daniel. He shows CRR how it's done. He says, buddy, you got to put it between the posts and underneath the crossbar. You don't know what I'm talking about. Like this. Top pins. Cross map shot by Daniel. Pure perfection. He's now scored just as many goals for CRR in this game as CRR has himself. Daniel, the best player on both teams.
Wow. The own goals have showed up quite... I can't believe we have this many own goals. Certainly North America will bounce back, though. I know. I can believe in it. Daniel's won. He's allowed to own goal. Or at least he seems like he's going to win.
He's still running the show. I don't remember the CRR goal this game. I'm going to be completely honest. I just remember Daniel goals. It's a dominant display, own goal or not. CRR has not been able to stop Daniel from taking full control of possession and scoring by far the majority of his chances in comparison to CRR, who has really struggled to surprise Daniel and make him uncomfortable at all. The only thing, really, that Daniel might have hit that, in fact. Great save by CRR. Right, really the only thing that has looked like it's got any chance of putting Daniel out of his comfort zone is the air dribble bump from CRR. So I do want to see more of those. Personally, if Daniel is going to full shadow every play, well, the air dribble bump is a great counter to that. But will there be enough chances to set those up? That's a nice finish by CRR in this play. Daniel panicking a little bit after being tripped, but 3 goals will be pretty difficult, even in this time.
Would love to see some sort of change on the kickoff, but it's actually not bad play for CRR. He fakes the touch. That gets Daniel to back off. Now he has the ball around it. He can't go to that air dribble bump, even if he would want to, until he gets one controlled on the top of his car, and he wouldn't have had time for that. He's getting an interesting dribble here. It didn't have a lot of momentum towards the net, and Daniel just makes it a goal of his own. He says, hey, CRR, thank you for taking this to my favorite spot. I'll gladly take it from here. What a great use of the flip to steal it away from him. My goodness, Daniel. He is trying to secure this series.
Just too easy for Daniel again. CRR air dribbling vertically right next to the wall, which Daniel can drive up. So, yeah, maybe not the smartest idea there. Obviously, the first touch went wrong. Daniel off the sidewall again. Looks like the more scary player in the air. He's hit the flip reset more sideways than on target, though. CRR quickly dispossesses him. He wastes no time in the setup and goes for a ridiculous read, which is not meant to be. Daniel makes it 8-3. That might be all she wrote here for CRR. Indeed it is. GG's called early. It's another sweep, this time in North America.
Daniel is on form. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Daniel dropped that one match early to AJ and First Killer. I mean, is First Killer the only person who stands a chance? I mean, I'm not sure if I would favor Wavy. I mean, I know I wouldn't favor Wavy. I'm down for the Wavy hype. We have First Killer Wavy next, but it seems like it'll have to be First Killer to try and stop him.
Yeah, Daniel and First Killer right now kind of separating themselves from the pack as Daniel destroys CRR, and you know, not the CRR that we saw earlier in the tournament. That was a bit of a step back when it comes to ground game, definitely a step back when it comes to the aerial game by CRR. Credit to him for doing what none of none of Moxie's opponents were able to do in this tournament. That's try literally any kickoff that isn't normal, but it wasn't enough. Daniel really played a great series. He looks like he's in great form here, and if it does end up being, I mean, whoever it ends up being, whether it's Daniel against the Dark Horse Wavy or that another episode of Daniel versus First Killer, I think we're in for a treat when Daniel gets into that grand final.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, this was domination through and through. We continued. We just got done watching Moxie, and apparently the domination is not over. I don't expect that to happen the rest of the way. Regardless of who shows up, if it's somebody who can take First Killer down, then it's going to be a close match. Or if it's First Killer, we know it's going to be a close match. But yeah, hopefully, Wavy is like Moxie in that I think he has a ton of ones behind him. I think of anybody who's left in the tournament, he's got the most ones. Maybe even everybody who is in the North American tournament, Wavy might have the most ones tournaments and the most ones games under his belt. So this is certainly his moment to show it all off like Moxie. We'll see if he does. Yeah, and we're going to get to that match very soon. Let's take a look at that bracket and see what that means for North America. Well, the first thing it means is that we just have Americans left in the tournament. No France versus France. It's going to be America versus America in that grand final later on today, regardless of the First Killer versus Wavy result. Now, First Killer has got the advantage in terms of win-loss coming out of the group, 4-1 versus Wavy's 3-2. They actually came out of the same group where First Killer did get a win, so this will be a rematch. And Wavy had to fight through a couple of Game 5s on his way here, which it was spectacular. First Killer also Game 5, but passed Daniel, who is now showing that he is playing at an incredible level to sweep CRR out of the competition. But yeah, Wavy is the underdog. First Killer and Daniel have been the most dominant players coming out of America for 1v1 for years and years. And Wavy is the guy who's going to try and step up to that level today. He's already made, I think, a lot of people very happy, a lot of people very surprised with his run up until this point. But yeah, we'll find out after this break whether he can go one step further and take down First Killer. We'll see you there.